told me shit, and that's the perfect way to do it.
Okay.
So I got one of each. You can feel free to, color commentate while I'm doing this. I need an obvious band.
I thought we were always trying for obvious bands.
Well, no, I want one that will win because I'm the only guy who hasn't won.
I'll let you go Journey tonight.
It's my, that wouldn't even be that would be like, here, reel this fish in that I caught. No way, man.
Journey, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and...
There. Thank you. I got it. And then for the other, I need one long shot. It's my favorite band you never hear.
Rush.
I should go Rush, but that's not a long shot. I already got my... I'll do that. I got it. I just re-racked it. Boom. Let's go. The episode. Do we start the show?
We can.
Who says that? Chappelle.
Oh, that's right. On the television show. Beginning.
By the way, Key and Peele. You watch Key and Peele ever?
I did.
Have you ever seen a bad Key and Peele sketch?
No.
I just saw the one where they did a thing. It wasn't Key and Peele, but they were on it. Or maybe it was their show, but it talked about black ice, and the weatherman was a black guy, and they're like, that sneaky... hard to figure out black ice. You just don't know when it's going to get you. It's pretty bad. So we're not a racial podcast. So good thing we didn't talk about that.
Right.
All right. What did I promise you going into this episode?
It's going to be awesome.
Yes. So that means I need to remain upbeat and positive and not mean to you. Even though when I sent you a text earlier today, when you were at the zoo, and I said something mean, I put a smiley face after it. Like that would make it better. So I don't know if that's going to...
I didn't understand the reply, so I guess I didn't take it as being mean.
Are we recording right now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then tell people what you sent me a picture of, and I'll tell you what I thought of that picture.
I sent you a photo of me sitting in the conservatory at the Como Park Zoo. If you're from Minneapolis, it's downtown. Well, I guess it's downtown St. Paul, is it not?
St. Paul, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I sent him a photo of me sitting there looking at the flora or...
Well, Mark's not in the picture. It looks like the lobby of an Embassy Suites is really what it looked like to me. I mean, really, I'm like, what am I looking at here? It was just a bunch of, I'm like,
I never thought of that.
Like, thank God you didn't send me a more suggestive picture or something.
That's awesome.
And I go, what is the... And I thought, maybe there's a gibbon in the picture from our last episode. And ironically, you were at a zoo, and you said, no, I'm at Como Park Conservatory. And then I said, and this is where I put the smiley face, because it was kind of a dickish thing to say. I go, I should have known from all the people in the picture. How many people were at the conservatory today?
It was packed today.
Get the hell out of
here. It wasn't. I should say.
Okay, so you were taking a picture into an area without...
Yes. I took a photo of after nobody was walking in front of me at the time.
Just ironically, there was no one in that picture.
Well, I could time it. Smart enough to do that. Or you tell people,
stay the fuck away.
But I went in the primate area, and there were no gibbons in there. I was specifically looking for one, so...
Do you know that? Were you just doing it by sight, or did you look at the sign?
Well, they actually have television screens now that say what animals are there.
So why do you even got to go? Just watch it on TV. Stay at home.
No, it says what's behind the glass while you're there.
Oh, I hear some of those are holograms.
They're very good because they fooled me.
They are. I think we're into that. I think this is the Chuck Foreman episode 44, and I appreciate you for giving me the bonus episode that my mom was in that was not numbered, but I've just papered over that, so we can have that discussion off air if we need to renumber these. But
no, we've gone with that, and
is that what we're going with?
We are.
Oh, pick your battles and win a one. Anyhow, So this would be the Chuck Foreman episode. Anybody from Minnesota knows Chuck Foreman. We're number 44. And when I say Chuck Foreman, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
The spin.
Chuck move.
Yeah.
The Chuck move. The Chuck move, for anyone who has gas, you need to know the Chuck move. If you, let's say you think that you're going to get away with a fart as you're walking into a room, or more worse, getting into a car. It's somebody that I know that lives here in this house upstairs that I'm married to will sometimes try to we're not naming names though. So
I might have to edit that part.
Nobody's going to know because I didn't say her name. Anyway, so sometimes Chris will, as she's getting into the car, she'll think like, oh, I'm going to relieve a little, whatever situation's going on there. And then she'll walk straight into the car, and she might as well have just aimed it directly into the car because it gets caught up in the draft, and you just get ooh. But if you just do one courtesy Chuck spin, you will disrupt the airflow, and you'll go like, oh, that must be the water in this town. They must be near one of those treatment facilities.
We used to do donuts in the winter.
Explain to our southern listeners what a donut is.
Back we had rear-wheel drive vehicles, excuse me, mostly. You would go out and you would...
In a snowy parking lot, or icy or a lake, lot. Or anything like that.
Yeah, lake's a little dangerous, but don't...
How's a lake dangerous? What are you going to hit?
There's a lot of open water sometimes on the lakes that you have to be very careful.
Okay, well, in the middle of winter, there's not very much, but anyhow, you
sometimes.
Go. Okay, there.
Someone just passed away on Mille Lacs.
Well,
anyways.
That's sometime they could have read the paper, or anyway. Were they doing donuts, or they just fell through
I have no
ice
idea.
fishing?
It was like an 80-year-old fella that.
Well, good for him. He went out
taking a shortcut.
He went out doing what he loved.
But anyways,
cutting across the lake.
Instead of calling it donuts, where you spin with your rear-wheel drive car in circles, we called that the Chuck Foreman.
Nice.
You went out and did Chuck Foreman's.
We would do in junior high. You'd walk up to a guy in the hallway and just, for no good reason, or it was like a habit. You would just walk up and you kind of step into him, and then you spin away and you go Chuck move, and then you just go about your way, and everybody's cool with it.
So 2 years ago, my kids bought me a Chuck Foreman jersey.
Really?
Well, I think I wore it at a football game that we all attended.
Was it a Leroy Horde jersey, and they just kind of jacked with the letters?
No, it was.
I was surprised that Chuck Foreman's jersey was not retired. Were you?
Yes, very much so.
Did Leroy Horde wear it?
I'm not sure.
I think maybe a defensive guy wore it too. But what was Leroy Horde's? Leroy Horde is a Vikings. Late in his career, he was a running back that played for the Vikings, and he had one of my favorite sports quotes of all time.
What is it? I don't recall. I'm sorry.
He goes, if you need a yard, I'll get you a yard. He goes, if you need 5 yards, I'll get you a yard.
Oh, I do remember that quote.
That's a phenomenal quote in my little world. I'd like to call a quick timeout on the Chuck speak, because we could do a whole episode on Chuck Foreman. But tonight we went to our sponsor to support them, and the atmosphere at Newt's in Apple Valley was positively electric. My wife even commented. She said, "Listen to this place. It's got its own little heartbeat." And I'm like, "Oh, you might be having a stroke, baby." But anyway, she's fine. I think. I don't know. She didn't talk much after that, but yeah. So we were there. We had our typical great meal, great service. We sat at the bar. So Sarah was our bartender. And we did see Kayla, we saw MJ, we saw Dawn, we saw Corey, we saw little Cam, and that's the kid. He's not little, but he's young. But we didn't see a couple other people. But anyhow, great time. Place is buzzing, everyone having a good time. The new special is the Swiss truffle smash or something like that. It's that good. It's really good. And then Mark got his vegetarian burger that comes with bacon. and he gets the hockey puck. What do you call that? The fake meat thing?
The Beyond Burger.
And but it comes with bacon, and he gives me his bacon. That's a friend right there, kids. But we are sitting at the bar, minding our own business, sorta, and the people two parties down, got there about the same time as us, and they were playing the same pull tab box as us. And finally, when the gentleman of the couple went up to get more pull tabs, I'm like, I gotta tell her, I'm like, I had to ask her, do you know me? Like, do we know each other? And I'm not placing you. And she goes, no. And then I said, okay, well then I know who I go, do you have a celebrity lookalike? Because she reminded me of someone that I went into this like, okay, if I don't know you, then I know, then the reason that you seem familiar is because you remind me of a celebrity. And the guy, Rick, what's up, Rick, who was sitting directly next to us, Rick and Julie. We said we wouldn't use their names, but we won't much more. Rick, Julie, Rick. Anyway, Rick's huge. Rick looked like a guy that could pound me into the ground like a nail.
But he doesn't know where we live, so we're okay.
Oh, I told him where we live.
Oh.
I left the front door open too, so we're screwed. Anyhow, I go, do you have a celebrity lookalike? And he just jumps in with perfect comedic timing. He goes, I know who yours is, Cam from Modern Family. And I'm like, son of a biscuit, that's my line. But it's true, I've been told I look like Cam from Modern Family, and I guess I should take that as a compliment, just because I look like somebody who's that people like. But anyway, the woman looked like Samantha Bee from, I don't know, TBS, or she used to be on The Daily Show. But yeah, that's how far that went. But we then, of course, had to tell. I asked Mark to get Julie's attention, and I go, ask if they listen to podcasts. And so he pulled the Ascertainers up on his phone. We said go to episode 6 because that's our squirreliest episode. I think our best intro to the Ascertainers episode. And if you're a listener to the Ascertainers, perhaps you could tell us if you think there's a different one that we should steer people to. Because we might be way wrong. We've got a lot of them in the can.
Right. People say, anyone, 1 through 40. They're all so good.
They all suck the same. I think that's really what
Let's go with all so good.
Well, okay. Tomato. I'll give you that. So anyway, Newt's, Apple Valley, Minnesota, the original and yet exclusive sponsor of the Ascertainers. We're coming up on a year. We don't think we're going to bump our price. We think we're just going to stay with the nice cold beer each. And I don't know, maybe we could throw in an order of curds once in a while. Once a month curds.
Well, when we hit 2,000, we're going to have to demand something.
We'll push it a little hard. And I think maybe if we get to a year and we're going to hit 2,000 at around the year mark, I don't think that maybe we'll put out a little social media push to try to get people to share it. Because if we stay at our current pace, we will. Let's just call April 1st I think that's when the first one kind of came out.
Right, April wine.
April, did you say one or wine?
Wine.
Yeah, but
it's a music podcast.
If we hit 2,000 by April 1st, I will be super excited. And then I think we could. I don't think Newt's is going to mind if we talk about a different. We're not going to talk about another burger place. So not that they're a burger place; they're much more than a family restaurant. Family owned from Rochester, Minnesota.
Good
I
save.
could go on. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, but we would go with a like a hog slaughtering, like Hormel. I think that'd be a good one to go with, or Cargill. They throw us a couple bags of fertilizer. We're doing some shit in the garage that no one needs to know about. So we want to keep it off the books if we could.
A Cambria. Instead of the Twins, they're signed behind home plate.
How do you say that again?
Is it Cambria?
Sure.
What is it? How's it pronounced?
I thought it was Cambria, but maybe I'm wrong. Cambria? Cecilia?
Is
You're
it
breaking my heart?
Caribbean?
Sure. Depends.
Wow, it's already started.
Depends on mood.
And we're only 15 minutes in.
Depends on mood. Shirley Partridge. Speaking of which, seems like I knew something was
a mess.
Missing. Yeah, well, that's standard. So, Newts, we're done talking Newts, but we're not done thinking about Newts because we think about them all the time. I think about them quite commonly. I have a wedding coming up in April, and I'm deliberately trying to drop a few chins. So, First of all, so people don't say I look like Cam from Modern Family, but also I want to look sexy in my tux.
And you probably should mention it's not your wedding.
No. I know, but here's the thing: no one's going to believe that either of my kids. By April 20, at the end of April, it's 27th. Both of my kids will be married off, and I'm like, oh my, who saw that coming? Although Alex has had the same girlfriend for forever, but I'm just kind of surprised they tied the knot. And they thought they would kind of do the punk rock thing and just, ride it out as a domestic couple.
Some people?
But, well, they went to buy a house, and they're like, hey, we want to, tie each other legally up in this mess. Anyhow, I'm super happy for them. And then eldest Andrew is getting married. And I'm like, well, I don't think that I should present this giant beef carcass to that. So I've been, since the first of the year, on a diet, and it's going well. Let's just say that. I think I'll hit my goal. I don't want to give numbers or nothing, but I'm down 140 pounds in 3 weeks, and it's mostly water. So yeah, and I got Mark's foot out of my ass. That helped. That was a good 50 pounds. But no, it's all good. Newt's done. Thank you. Now, I only have a little bit of errors and omissions. Do you have anything? I've been talking for nonstop, and I said I didn't want to do that.
Hi, we're the Ascertainers.
Oh, shit. I forgot to introduce us.
I'm Mark, and my partner in crime is Jim. Say hello, Jim.
I'll take it from here. Hi.
But anyways, origination of the show was Jim and I would do this off and on throughout the years. We'd sit down and we would talk like this. And I was listening to podcasts and I thought, that's just Jim and I talking. Why not put that on recording and let everyone hear our insights, intelligent insights into everything? Totally. So, and Jim agreed, and here we are.
Here we are on the Chuck Foreman episode. Thank you. Can't think enough. Or the Chucker episode for all those KQ listeners. Did you remember the Chucker?
I do. I didn't care for... What's the other one where they called in?
I don't know.
They would do crank calls.
Oh, like crank yankers?
Yes.
Jerky boys?
Jerky boys, yeah. I don't care for that where they make... And Chucker was big on that, calling up. And
well, he only did about half a dozen bits, but the time he called Michael, some random guy named Michael Jackson, and he's like, hey, Michael Jackson. He's treating him as if he's the pop star Michael Jackson. And when Michael Jackson, he goes, what kind of music you listen to, Michael? And he goes, I've always been kind of a jazz guy. He goes, hey, Michael. Hey, I'm doing it no justice. But the Chucker was great. He goes, I didn't know you're such a jazz head, Michael.
I always felt like I would be the one having my chain yanked, so I always didn't care for that.
You never answered the phone?
No.
Ring. Oh, this is emergency. That's just what the Chucker would do. I'm not going to pick this one up. R.I.P. Uncle Tim. Anyhow, so I interrupted you again, as I do.
No, I was finished with that, and I was just going to say this is not the Chuck Foreman episode. This is A Year in Music, 1977.
I thought you were going to say it was the Ricky Young episode, 43. I don't know who wore 43 for the Vikes. Was it? It might have been Ricky Young, though.
Wasn't that Nate Wright?
Defensive back Nate Wright wore number 18.
No.
Really?
Really?
Am I thinking of Bobby Bryant? We'll do some research on that. But I take my Vikes numbers very seriously. The year is 1977.
Yes.
We're going to jump right into our doggone topic after my errors and omissions, because I do have some serious corrections to make from the last episode right off the top. Mark says correctly, she talks to angels. No,
that was
Fly to the Angels, which was done by Slaughter.
Correct.
And what's the name of the lead singer for Slaughter?
I don't know. Chris Slaughter.
Mark Slaughter.
Yeah.
It's like, what a great name. How are you not going to the meat industry or something with the name Slaughter, or like me a homicide cop? Mark Slaughter.
Homicide cop.
This guy looked familiar.
But I think you were mentioning the Black Crowes.
I did. It's and that. So I even got that. I said she sings with the. It's She Talks to Angels by the Black Crowes, which is such a good song. It really you kind of. I listened to it so much. I think I wore it out in my head. So I'm kind of calloused to the song. But if you listen to that song, it's like
very good,
super. Like it's a powerhouse. Next, Fiji. It's just Fiji Band, at Fiji Band. It's not Fiji Band MN. My bad. And then I have something that I'll have to correct next episode. But Al Franken was for sure born, according to Wikipedia, in New York City. He's got some tie to Duluth, though. But you're saying he graduated. He went to high school.
They moved to Spring Lake Park, and then he graduated from Blake.
Okay. Do you know? Did he live in Duluth then, or if you did some research?
He lived up in close to the Iron Range, that area. But
so
they did move. Yeah, correct.
That's what, like when people live in Waconia, they say they live in Minneapolis. Kind of one of those deals. You ever notice that? When people live like an hour from the cities, and it's like, well, fuck, no one knows where Olivia is. So I'm going to say I live in Minneapolis. And the further you move away from your home, the closer you're. The less offensive the lie is that you didn't fucking live in Minneapolis. Okay, then I have, got that. I had one other thing. No, I think we're ready to rip, pal.
Let's do the radio game then.
Oh, I forgot to do the radio game. I'm ready. You go first.
Okay.
Do it real slow. This is like when the waitress comes by and you're, you guys ready? And you talk the whole way, like, I don't know, some people do. And then you're like, you guys go. And then you're like, French toast. Fuck. So
okay.
This is a steakhouse.
I am doing a 1977 theme.
That's your thing. That's what won you the last week. By the way, congrats on the radio game last week.
Well, thank you.
Did you see the asterisk in the write-up?
I did.
I loved it. I don't know. I rarely get impressed by my own work. Except for whenever I do it. And I thought that was funny. So, go.
So all these bands had a hit in 1977.
All right. Fire.
Steve Miller.
You fucking dick.
Jungle Love.
Yeah.
And the rhyming in that is pretty bad. Even I admit that. And then Meatloaf. Because we always got to bring up Meatloaf. Paradise by the back door.
Oh my god. We'll get to him later, by the way. What is wrong with you?
Oh shit. And I cussed.
Oh, that would have been a perfect
Paradise by the dashboard light.
Shoot. Paradise by the back door light. Okay. That's Meatloaf.
Okay.
Oh, I'll do mine now.
Yeah, you do.
That's a tough act to follow. I'm going to do Rush and Thin Lizzy, because there's nothing controversial about those two picks.
Rush did have a hit during 1977.
Was it Closer to the Heart?
Yeah, my favorite Rush song.
That's one of their top charting songs, actually.
Oh, I love that song.
That and Tom Sawyer and Limelight, I think, were their top three charting songs. And any Rush fan will just cringe. Although those are good songs, but they claim the more obscure the song is, the more cool it is to.
Right. Plus, you get burned out. It'd be like Stairway to Heaven. If it's played all the time, then true fans don't. They get burned out on it,
or they get resentful of it, because that's how people identify with their band when they realize that song, while commercially successful, is nowhere near their best game. Right?
Yeah, they need to back off.
Maybe like every Grateful Dead song.
Wow.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Just with that, I'm going to go with Ram Jam, Black Betty.
I thought we had that band from the podcast.
And Sanford Townsend.
Ooh.
Smoke from a Distant Fire. Which sounds like what band?
Hall & Oates.
I was thinking more Chicago that we were listening to. I think it sounds exactly like a Chicago song.
PA&K fan had Sanford Townsend band in their kind of rotation for bumper music and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
There's another band that I don't know if they have a 1977 hit, but that it's one of my favorite band names ever. It's Hamilton, Frank, Joe, and Reynolds. And I don't know if there's a comma in there at all. Like, is it Hamilton Joe? It's, yeah.
And it's
I forget the name of that song, but it's very you would recognize it.
It's not a lawyer firm or anything.
It sounds like, yeah. It's injured in an accident? Call Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds. Oh, hey. Mine are Billy Squire and Molly Hatchet. So here we go. I'm gonna try
from last week.
Yeah, I had to. Shout out Paul W. I owed that to you. Let's see if we won.
And people, you could look at our Facebook. You could see Paul and the rest of the Fiji on stage.
So anyway, it's funny. I don't know if at the beginning of the episode, I'm trying to write down my stuff, and I go, I'm the only guy that hasn't won. And Mark's like, well, you can use Journey if you want. It's Journey. Are you shitting me? But that would have been hollow win. But it would have been a win.
It would have been a win.
It would have been a non. I would have asterisked in my head. I'm glad I didn't win with that. I want to win with something good like Aldo Nova or some fucking DeLamont Cranston or something like that. So, all right, here we go. How we doing? We've got half an episode left. No, we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get in 1977, man.
I am there. I'm back. I got bell bottoms on, and I'm ready to go. They were probably out by 77.
You're just getting pubes? Oh, is that how you do it? Okay, anyway. Yeah, so I thought, okay, well, we're running out of topics and stuff, and I just thought, why don't we just do...
our listeners we're running out of topics. We got tons.
I've been telling, as Pat said in his manifesto, which I started calling his letter, the email, the manifesto. I think it's good. It's not a bad thing, and there's some good manifestos. I mean, starting with this one, but he goes, since you guys are begging for topics or whatever, and so anyway. I thought, okay, well, why don't we just pick a year and talked about that music? And I don't know I think we're going to probably spin 2 episodes out of this and just run into the second one. But the 70s music, Mark, tell us what it means to you.
Well, it's very...
Like, where do you rank it? Or what is it? I mean, out of all the... Like, if you had one year to listen to on a deserted island, how do you say that? Desert island?
You know how you remember if it's one S or 2 S's? Desert is 1, but if you wanted second helpings, you wanted dessert. So that it would have 2 S's.
You totally fucking did it wrong.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I think dessert only has 1.
No, desert only has 1.
Okay. Can we edit this one? I'll look that up. I thought it was deserted.
No, dessert has 2 because you always want a second helping.
Okay, there, humble pie. Is that humble pie or Uriah Heep?
Humble pie. 30 Days in the Hole.
Second helping though. Who? That was an album by somebody.
It must be humble pie. Had to be.
I got a lot to look. You're gonna have to carry us for a little bit. So talk about the 70s.
I love the 70s. 77. This era is kind of cool because you have R&B hits. You have reggae, you have rock, you have country, and
soundtrack.
You have
even a TV show soundtrack.
Oh, you'll have to tell me that one. And punk.
Yes.
So
it's really where disco ended and punk started-ish, or getting started playing on the radio.
Yeah, it was a cool era. I'll start off with. I guess we can decide. What do you want to start with? Punk, reggae. Well, I'll go with reggae. Bob Marley, Three Little Birds.
Ask yourself, whose podcast is this?
It's our podcast.
It's yours. You decide. You're like the creator. You're the one with a big O.
Yeah. Is that what we're calling it now? Big O.
I can't believe I'm still hung up on dessert and desert.
He is like punching. His fingers going crazy on the phone.
How do you spell dessert as in food?
Just
Many people get mixed up. Blah blah. I don't want to hear an article. Just tell me the. Oh, if you're on an island. No, it doesn't say that. I swear to God. Ice cream and dessert or dessert.
Always thought.
You're right. I'm wrong. Oh.
Wow. We should have saved that for errors and omissions.
Is dessert is the Sahara a desert or a dessert? Fuck. Proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You feel better? I'll be upstairs in my room, crying in my big giant pillow. Do you get that reference?
I do. Your big head. Get out of the way of the TV.
That's
so
from,
I married an axe murderer.
So I Married an Axe Murderer is a film noir by Mike Myers that's
excellent.
It's pretty fucking funny. It has its moments. And I think that Shrek, so it predates Shrek, but his dad basically is the voice of Shrek. So think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Very close anyway.
Yeah.
Scottish, they eat haggis, or they reference haggis. Okay, I'm just trying to avoid our topic. We almost were into it. So you start off with reggae.
Bob Marley, Three Little Birds.
I didn't even have that. Oh, we have to do 2 episodes of that. I have so much on this. I will though, since we talked about it earlier, with what was the meatloaf thing you said? Paradise by the back door light. I'm going to take you to 1977. Little number by Rod Stewart.
Oh yeah.
It's called Tonight's the Night. I'm going to go ahead and read you the first couple of lines from that.
Tonight's the night.
Hey man, that's not the first words, and I'm reading now, and it's sorry. Oh, smiley face emoji. You see, I'm trying to be more pleasant. Stay away from my window. Stay away from my back door too. What in the hell is going on with these rock stars?
I think he actually meant a back door to the house.
Okay, there. Missed the metaphor, Mark. I think he specifically, and he and Meatloaf are in on some kind of weird, See, and then it's like if you read the lyrics on the album liner, it says "Stay away from my back door too," and then there's like a little wink. Which means, anyway. All right, so yeah, well, that's all I really had there. But Rod Stewart had a number of hits. He had "You're in My Heart, You're in My Soul."
Rod Stewart is a rocker, but we did a show on ballads. We could do a whole show on Rod Stewart ballads.
Could put out the best of Rod Stewart. They would have a hard time putting it on one record.
Yeah,
one whatever disc album.
You could do 2. You could do the rock ones, and then you could do the ballads.
But the difference between rock and what Rod Stewart did, he did like more contemporary, like "You're in My Heart, You're in My Soul." Okay, I remember like literally, I guess I'm 13 years old in 1977. Very important year for pube building, as well as other activities that might involve a locked bathroom. But anyway,
let someone else use it.
What's that?
Oh, pounded on the bathroom door. Let someone else use the bathroom.
As Robert Williams said, "I'm just in here oiling up the old glove, Mom." Anyhow, but Tonight's the Night, he says, no, "You're in my heart, you're in my soul." He talks about a big bosom lady with a Dutch accent who tried to change my point of view, or something like that. Also, Steve Miller's in that song, too. He uses the word lyrical. I took a little license with that. But I didn't know I think that's how I learned what bosom meant. And then I always picture this lady, though, as like the Phil Hartman character in Sprockets, this Dutch lady wearing like the Panakuchen outfit with a ponytail sticking up to the side and lipstick all over her face. Like, I'm like, she's scaring me. Anyway, that's my Rod Stewart story. It's my Grand Casino story.
But he had a good amount of rock songs, especially with Small Faces.
The only thing I would say is a Rod Stewart rock song would be like "Hot Legs."
No, that's not that's a pop song.
Tell me a Rod Stewart rock song then. Maggie May?
No.
Easy listening. Whatever the other 2 I talked about, easy, like 1977 class. Whatever that album was, those Tonight's the Night and "You're in My Heart, You're in My Soul" are from the same record. And it's got a weird name. It's called like Ball Sack or something like that. It's got the word ball in it. And I'll say, as far as the categories, I found that they're hard rock songs. We'll say that "Freebird" is in 1977, as well as Nadia's theme, from
Right.
The Young and the Restless. I mean, what range for starters? So these
Was
are,
that the piano one? Nadia's theme?
I don't know. Oh, is that a trick? Like I'd know that?
No, but you brought it up. I was just asking. I thought maybe you listened to it when you...
There was also, what the hell did I just write there?
What do you got, Doctor's handwriting?
Nights
And
Are
Wife.
Forever Without You by England Dan and John Ford Coley. Nice name. So Nights Are Forever Without You. More Than a Feeling. Boston came out. Boston came out in '77. That must have been their first record. Muskrat Love. So when it comes to themes, you have stupid shit like that. I thought King Tut came out that year, but it came out a year later. My bad. Steve Martin. So there was like, remember when comedy songs would be in,
Yes.
like Cheech and Chong, what was it? What was it called? Sister Mary Elephant or something like that.
I don't recall.
I think they also had a song that charted, but maybe not top 40 high.
We can do even disco, Bee Gees. We could do R&B. Commodore's Brick House came out.
Yep.
Country, Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. Don't start with me on Kenny Rogers.
Daytime Friends, Nighttime Lovers.
Leo Sayer, Slade in 1977. So we've got. I actually have a website that has every week's top 40. Fleetwood Mac, Earth, Wind and Fire, another Rod Stewart. Oh, okay. Burton Cummings.
Do you mean
Stand
another?
Tall.
There is another Rod Stewart around. You said another Rod Stewart.
Yep, there's two of them. One of them spells it with a U. Not Rudd Stewart. It's anyway. It's in the last name.
Every picture tells a story.
Queen. Every picture tells a story. Who's that?
Rod Stewart. It's a very big rock song.
Who the fuck is Rod Stewart?
Rudy Stewart.
Do you know who sang In the Mood?
I don't.
The Hen House 5+2. They spelled 2 weird.
Is the 2 like
T-O-O.
when they said "and the rest" on Gilligan's Island? They didn't even name the last 2 on the first.
There were
season.
no rest.
No, they said the movie star and the rest. So they never
I thought they
named
said the Professor and Marianne. Oh, they did say and the rest.
on the second season. Then they named them.
Oh. So on this podcast, you would be and the rest.
I almost spit my beer over
that was awesome. Elton John really fucking ruled back then. Doobie Brothers. How about a little John? Once in a while, you'll get like Johnny Bristol. Do It to My Mind. Do you remember that one?
I don't.
Tom Jones is in there. Elvis is in there. Elvis died, I think, in 77 or 78? But he had a charting hit, a top 40 hit.
Well, good for him.
So it was released and, produced and all that shit. I just heard, I don't know who the hell I heard. I'll credit this to some unnamed, unknown comedian. But they're talking about how, it might have been Norm Macdonald, where it's like, they say Elvis might still be, he'd be 97 by now. I think maybe he's dead now.
Well, they did a remix of Viva Las Vegas, and that charted.
Seriously.
Yeah. Back in the 90s.
When we were walking out of the restaurant, the cold air hit me. I almost charted. And I have to say, so it's we come to you. We hail from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that's why we talk funny. That sounded weird. And we've avoided harsh winter conditions like really all year. We've totally dodged a bullet. However, we finally got a little snow last weekend, and now it's cold as hell. In fact, it's in the single digits, Mark. And when I heard that on the radio, that you expect the single digits, I thought, you know what? If I was a doctor, I would name my proctology practice, single digits. So it's a good thing I'm not a doctor. Digital, anything it's like a digital thermometer, I'm like,
you are a Meatloaf fan.
That sounds bad. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that should have been Meatloaf's greatest hits. It should be called single digits.
It's so cold that we usually shut the furnace off or air conditioner during the podcast.
Yeah,
but
so if there's a hum in the background, it's not Mark. It's my furnace. And thank God it's running. It's like chilly. Because if we do if we do 2 episodes, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours. And in the summertime, we'd always forget to turn it back on. So my housemate Chris,
I can't
/ wife,
stand you for 2 episodes.
would go, did you turn the air conditioner back on? And you're like, oops, a daisy, my bad.
So another couple of bands from the year 1977 in
Yes.
music. David Bowie, Heroes, came out,
Ooh, that's a
which
good
I
song.
love. Do you have a favorite David Bowie song?
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it though.
Heroes would be mine, but it used
Heroes
to
is
be
great, but didn't somebody
TVC 15.
else make that? And
The Wallflowers.
is that what it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was a bigger band than that.
Wallflowers did it with Dylan's son.
Yeah,
Bob.
Jacob with a K. So okay, God, look, I can think of the guitar part, but I can't think of the name of the song. Anyway, I'll tell you about Bowie. Bowie aged well.
He did.
Like he stayed current. He didn't.
Exactly, and we
Like
talked
the stuff
about
that came
that.
out in the '80s was just as good as the stuff. Well, it was good, but maybe not just as good as. Crud. I'll think of the Bowie thing by the end of it, but yeah,
But he was able to change with the times,
right.
like the Bee Gees,
And did it effortlessly.
yes,
Where other people, you could kind of tell they hung on a little too long.
right. And they
or-
tried to force it, and
Yeah, and I kind of put Van Halen in that category, but Van Halen is its own little train wreck between the singers and everything else. But
which would be a good topic. Band members that you thought were friends, but actually hated each other. There's a lot of those.
can we start with podcasts? 'Cause-
Oh, this is going
'cause
bad.
I think Joe Rogan hates a bunch of them fuckers on his show, for sure.
Nice
I
save.
can't think of any either. I don't know why I even brought that up.
Oh, another one, Deacon Blues, Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
I really got into Steely Dan later in life.
I just literally twice in the last 2 weeks I've heard.
Hey 19.
No, in college, Chevy Chase was in a band with Donald Fagen and the other guy.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know
they had
the
some
other guy's
really
name.
bizarre name. Oh, it's
Ron
it's killing me.
Johnson.
No, there's Steely Dan is known as two guys,
Right.
But and I also figured out I learned how they came up with the name Steely Dan. Do you know what that's about?
I don't.
It's a sex toy.
No,
From
really?
some novel, from one of the books, one of those types of books that you read, one of those literary things.
I don't read no damn book.
Donald Fagen and I gotta look this up. Well, you're looking something up, so I can't. So I'll carry the podcast for a little bit while you do that.
Always.
And I kind of want to take another listen to the radio to boot. So I'm going to do that while you look up whatever. Are you looking up Steely Dan?
I am.
Good, thank you. Because I would have looked the same thing up. That would have been bad. Oh, we have a song, and it's Autograph, Turn Up the Radio. That would have been a perfect, sleeper band.
That would have been.
Damn it. Well, I still am not victorious.
Walter Becker?
No, Walter. It's Walter Egan. It's not Walter Becker, is it?
Maybe Me No Read Good?
You don't read. You don't remember at all. Hang on. Looks like it's Walter Becker, everybody. So Chevy Chase was in a band with them, and there was in this story. I also heard that Chevy got kicked out of college because he had like a fucking cow in his dorm room or something like that. A cow. Go figure.
You know, that's funny that he had that story of the guy night putting in Caddyshack, and he actually probably had a story similar to that.
It's possible. Great documentary there, The Making of Caddyshack.
Yeah, they were just.
That was a wild scene. Another
Rodney Dangerfield wanted no part of it.
Really?
Yeah, he said these guys are just. I'm an old guy. I can't keep up with this stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he was, but that also helped him with his resurgence.
Oh, it did.
He benefited greatly from that, and we benefited greatly from Rodney sticking around. Caddyshack 2, one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously. And that brings me to, that could be an episode, comedians that just got not funny. Because Dan Aykroyd's on the list and Chevy Chase is on the list. Isn't that weird? And Belushi, but, by default, kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Too soon.
Yeah, that was a little harsh, even for me. Shall we wrap this one up and then jump into another one? Let you take your creaky knees upstairs and take a whiz, and we'll just pick up, and we'll call it an unnumbered episode and keep it in the can.
Can I just leave and not come back
Mark,
down?
I live down here. I don't like sunlight much. I just live in my basement. So if you don't show up till next Friday, I'll have a little longer beard and longer fingernails, and my bucket will be full.
All right. Tonight I had fun. I don't know if the listeners will, but it was a fun time.
Who cares? Who gives a fuck? It's free. But anyhow, I was very self-conscious of the last episode with my brother on it because I never gave him a chance to talk. And I need to be better. And I owe it to the 10 people that listen to us to be. Apparently you think it's interesting when I can't hold a fucking sentence together, but I got to hold some sentences together. So I feel better about this one. After I listen to it, I'll probably feel like
you'll hate it,
let's
as you do everyone.
Let's start over. Anyhow, I appreciate anyone that listens to this. I hope it helps brighten your day a little bit, because that's really all we're here to do. So thanks,
right.
Mark, for the idea, and all
See
the
you next
equipment
time.
and shit. Peace.
Goodbye.